Hi everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We know this stream is broadcasted via different platforms and also is being used by different parts of the world. And my name is Elena, and today we will be exploring how artificial intelligence revolutionizes art making, reshapes creative processes, storytelling, exhibition methods, and we will learn which AI tools are most in demand by artists, are most used by curators, which curatorial techniques are the most common ones, and we will also understand the unique aspects of curating AI-driven art projects. And so today we have various amazing speakers that I'm really thankful they joined us. We have a Maurice, new media artist, curator, and art theorist. We also have today Vladimir, who is art tech expert in tech innovation and cultural development. He is also CEO of Tech for Art, curator of our project, which is the AI Hokusai art project. We also have Saint Denis, our regular speaker, who is quite a well-known new media artist who merges AI, VR, and immersive art installations. We have Saras, who is our resident artist. And we also have Julia in here. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. My name is Elena, and normally I'm handling technical part of our webinars. But today I will be moderating the webinar. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us today again. And I think we will just start by the presentation that Maurice has prepared, and we cannot wait to hear from you.
Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good midday to all the public. So I'm presently in China, in Nanjing. So it's a bit late for me, something like 11 something p.m. But I will try to simulate that I'm in very good shape and I'm very aware of what's going on here. As you understood, the topic is quite large, and so it's embarrassing because there are many possible direction and interpretation we could have, but it's also a good thing because we are totally free to talk about what we would like to say in relation to AI. So I will share a few slides and try to address some of the topics that are related to the topic of the day. Yes. Oh. Okay, I will just ask for 1 minute because it seems that we are not on the right page. Okay, I guess you see my screen now. Do you?
Yeah, we do. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I get you. So I will try to address different points. Let's say that the first one is how the the job of the artist evolved during the last century and until now, in a way that artists may consider themselves as curators, and curator may consider themselves as an artist. And in a way, technology has facilitated this evolution, and more specifically, AI. And I will try to explain why. So first, I would like to show you something a bit specific I did 2 years ago. That is a map of the work I've been doing during the last 40 years. And so you see there are different topics, and these topics address different questions that are very often, let's say, metaphysical questions, philosophical questions, political questions, and very few, let's say, technical questions. And this was made possible by the use of recently appearing technologies. And I will explain why this led to something we understood a long time ago when Leonardo said la pittura è cosa mentale, which is a way to say first art is a product of the mind. So you see the practice, different works that evolve in time, correspond to different lines of research. But the most important thing is they are mostly conceptual explorations. And behind this map of things done, there are conceptual map. And this conceptual map explain why I was interested in these topics and why I wanted to explore more specifically some technologies, even if I was not trying to make a demo or to show how great it was in terms of effect. So you see in gray, there are the concept behind the project, and in color, the project themselves. And so we may wonder if AIs are offering something more than a magic mirror. So the first question is how technology killed art. I was there, and I made a photo of this very moment. And so you see the fight of the good guys and the bad guys, the fight between natural intelligence and artificial intelligence. As you can see, we cannot recognize them. We don't know who are the bad guys, who are the good guys. And we have to amplify certain effects like painting effects in order to say, yeah, it's still art. So it looks like painting. And the magic mirror may be very deceptive, and we may learn suddenly that we are not the most beautiful. We are just humans. And we may have forgotten what artificial means. So artificial intelligence is human-made intelligence. So in a way, if it's an extension of the human brain, it is also limited by the fact that this is an extension of humankind with all the flows of humankind. And first, and this is a starting point, this is a concept of virtuality. It's not really virtual reality, which is a technology that allows immersion and simulation, but it's virtuality, the fact that things can evolve in time to become something else. So in a way, virtuality is something that didn't exist at the time of the art object. So the painting, the sculpture, they were objects, and they were denuded. They were absent of virtuality. They were totally into actuality. And so this evolution, the things change in the 20th century when we started making projects that I call art subject, where the artwork become conscious of its environment, conscious of its public, can react to what people do, things, how they react, how they speak, how they express themselves. And this is something which changed considerably what is an artwork. It's not a way to produce something that has a definite shape, but something that will evolve in time according to the context. And so we are in the diffusion model, which is the one that is used to produce artificial intelligence. And it's all about uncertainty. And in a way, we are quite sure it will, in a way, reflect the humankind. So there, okay, let's go through that because it would take too much time to talk about that. But in a way, what AI do first is to do something quite easy, which is in relation to statistics, and try to find a way human brains put together could produce a certain evolution, and we would just attend and observe this evolution that I call here subjective slope. So it's about the natural inclination and the fluidity of data. And to be facing the artwork is to experience the meeting with the artwork, and so the meaning will get out of it. For living beings, we talk about ethology to describe how the beings survive in their environment, how they act, what explains their behavior. And you see here different aspects that are very specific to contemporary art of the 21st century and were probably forgotten and didn't exist in the 19th century. So the artist is actually designing the behavior of the artwork and not the result of a process, the outcome of a process. And this is a strong evolution in art making. So if you design the behavior, you create intention, and you give intention to the artwork. And so this is what I call artificial intentionality, because and it's a big difference between the natural and the artificial. For the natural, there is no intention behind, just the activation of survival processes. And for the artificial, we can have intention that are artist intention. And so the curator of AI art, of course, would pay attention to the quality of the intention and the activation of this intention. Augmented serendipity. So if we consider serendipity as part of the process of art making in the 21st century, if we consider that to find things if we consider the state of mind of people at the time they find things, and the things they want to share, things they want to make evolve. In a way, the process is considerably accelerated, and what the AI is proposing is augmented serendipity, which is more than what the serendipity alone would offer to the artist. Iterative curatorship, so that's a very important concept. The curator selects artworks and artists according to what they do. Actually, they select artists and then artworks, and they expect the process of making artworks from these artists will be the corresponding to a global project, which is, for example, the exhibition project or demonstration event. So it's all about assessments. It's not about designing. So this is 2 years ago what AI proposed when you ask them autonomy. And Midjourney proposed 4 pictures. And these pictures, you don't really see how this could relay, could say something about autonomy. And that's a very important point, because what is meaningful is not each image as such, but it's the one you will select. And the fact humans select this or that reduce the potentiality and the virtuality of the image, and in a way start drawing the lines that will define the path to what corresponds to autonomy. So this is characters that are neo-design in the project Value of Values, where people use EEG, electroencephalography, in order to give shape to human values. And everything will be dedicated to AIs in the way to understand and interpret the artworks.
Maurice, I'm extremely sorry to interrupt you. May I check if the slides should be changing or not? Oh.
Yeah, I'm slide 47.
Oh, I think we are on 42. Something wasn't changing. So if you don't mind just going to the slide you're on, it would be really nice.
Do you see something changing now?
Not really. We are on 42.
Oh, yeah, that's a bit embarrassing.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's why we're talking about technology.
Who is talking about technology? I didn't mention technology.
I mean AI. I'm sorry. Yeah.
But no, it's not fine if you don't see the pictures and the text.
Currently, we see the slide number 48, neurodesigned characters.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
And if I do that, do you see a change?
Yes, we do. Perfect. Thank you so much, and sorry to interrupt.
Okay, no, it's good. I would have loved that you interrupted me earlier. And if I do that, do you see the change?
This way we don't. We are on 49. However, previously we saw. Yeah, this way it works.
Okay, so this is why I don't like so much change the platform all the time.
That's true.
Because it's very disappointing.
That's
Okay, so I was talking about here I was talking about the crypto calligraphy, and that has been now designed by the public. So they use EEG in order to give shape to human values. And then AIs do the work of interpreting human values, and interpreting the new characters or crypto calligraphy that has been designed. So intentional bias. What is interesting, when we talk about AI, there are plenty of people who complain, and they are right, about the bias of AIs. And what is interesting is that this is the expectation of the public that consider that suddenly a tool developed by humans should be neutral. Of course, it's not. It doesn't have to be neutral because it has to reflect on the people. So the bias, in a way, is the most human part of the process in AI. And I will explain why later. I won't get too much into sublimation and reification as two processes that support each other and develop two different directions. So sublimation is converting the world into data, and reification converting the thought into matter. So in both ways, this is a way to consider the brain is doing the job. And we try to find two paths, one getting out of the brain, the other getting converting the world into the brain and the thought into physical thing. So this became Brain Factory, a project where you give shape to abstraction first, and they were 3D printed, and here this abstraction were actually converted into sculpture, so reified. This is a footprint of freedom, something that is an abstraction and could become a physical thing. And the print is the result of a process of ideation that leads to a certain model of things. Then the project Brain Factory became Value of Values, which is part of what I call transactional aesthetics. So I'm not addressing technologies, I'm addressing the process behind that could explain why some technologies may bring some interesting input and insight into the process of art making. So in Value of Values, the blockchain is considered as a medium as we convert the shape created by the brain into an NFT automatically. And so the blockchain becomes a medium. That means that thanks to this process, there is something activated, and thanks to the smart contract, that made possible the interpretation. So I think it will be it's too short to show you a video, or maybe just part of the video. Okay, I'm not repeating. I'm repeat enough. So the artwork becomes a society of agents with different parts assuming certain function. And this is the launch of Value of Values in Seoul, Korea, as an NFT and a kind of new cryptocurrency. And this was in Gwangju, in South Korea as well. And this is in Italy and Macerata. And this is Mocha Taipei, where people contributed to show the different values. So, and give shape to these values. And this is what you saw in the video as the reader and the interpreters that are actually AIs playing a role in understanding things coming from human brain. So it's like a project, an intention in the AI that is designed by the artist in order to understand better humans. Okay. Very different works, so you can have you can see artworks using the same principles, but expressing themselves differently. So that was during IZEA in Barcelona 2 years ago, where you had two artworks, two strangers, two aliens, two immigrants. So Refik and I, we did a different artwork facing each other, and they tried to understand each other. And they tried to understand the people. And you see, if there is nobody between the two artworks, they try to understand each other. It's all about immigration, about the concept of being different, and learning from the experience of culture and the experience of the other. Oh, I'm done soon. So it's a way to address, without addressing the technology itself, but address the finality of technology. Here, power chess, we have two robotic arms who play chess in order to understand human conflicts. So this is about identity. So it's a video, but I'm not showing you the video, it will be too long, about a character that will exist through time and would tell the story generated by AI in the tone of Shakespeare's writing, and the story of somebody who crossed the time in order to be always present and to be to understand the world. So this funny because it's 2 years ago when I was working on different topics related to architecture, and this was in relation to architecture and Hokusai. So it's an interesting coincidence, starting with a wave and trying to figure out if would be some new models would be generated out of that could be used for the humankind. So here it was made of food. That was the idea. And this is a project that I have to admit that I didn't spend enough time on it. But it's on Facebook, and the idea was to have an AI generating a new artwork, a new exhibition every day. So the exhibition would call Inhibition, and every day would be presented a new show, and with an artist statement explaining why this show happened, and also some visualization. And it's a very good way, when I talk about the magic mirror, to see the banality of things that are proposed by AI if you let them do something that on their own. So here, for example, is with the idea of global warming, and the Eiffel Tower is actually melting. And some other topics that are treated by AI, influenced and inspired by existing work by existing artists. But I didn't put any name. I let the AI work on this idea of creating an AI-generated environment. And to finish with, this is a project that is not done, and I've done, even my PhD thesis was about undone projects. So this one is inspired by Stonehenge, made of ice. And in the ice would be trapped some butterflies and tree seeds. And so when it's melting, the butterflies are freed, and then the seeds can go to the ground and create new trees and new life form without humans. So in a way, we could say that the Genesis is a manual of reverse engineering the world. And the first prompt ever would be, let there be light. I think I can stop here.
Wow, thank you so much. I think it's just a beautiful intersection of science, art, AI. May I ask just one last question? Can you share what are the best practices behind creating AI artwork for any artists that are experimenting with the AI? What would you recommend for them to start and how to start?
I would recommend to consider that AI didn't erase art history. And the big mistake would be to expect AI to replace what was done in art history 1 century ago, 2 centuries ago, and so on. And to imagine, like the painters of the 19th century, when they were confronted to the emergence of photography, they had to invent what would be the job of the artist after that. If it's not to represent the world, if it's not to show the world as we see it, if it's not a retinal experience, what can it be? And they started reconsidering first in painting, then in different processes, extending the potential of the artist. And this is how people like Marcel Duchamp in the beginning of the 20s became a curator, and how the curatorship became art. So a curator is somebody choosing elements to make sense out of it, and these elements can be production from the artist, and can be also production of AIs put together. But really important to keep in mind, AIs are humans.
Thank you so much. Honestly, I enjoyed every single project you shared with us. And thank you so much for your time. I know it's extremely late for you. And yeah, extremely invaluable projects that you shared with us. And so I would like to welcome our next speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you. Evgeny Merman, who is curator of AI Hokusai Art Project, and who is also an artist and, as well as I know, also an educator in art sphere. And so, yeah, thank you so much for joining and welcome. I would like straight ahead just ask you, what is the difference between curating traditional art, physical art, and AI-generated art? If there is one?
Hi, good to see you guys. Yeah, it's a good question actually. I was thinking about it, to getting ready to this program, and actually, my idea totally opposite. I'm the skeptical one in this team. That's why I think I've been brought it here. Um, yeah, I don't think. Well, I'll came to the uh, AI later, but I'll try to get to the bottom of this conversation and these topics. The topic was creation and curation, I guess. So by the creation, you mean the artist, I guess, right? The artistic side of it, and it's the artist, and the curator is a curator. It's kind of administrator. So if I'll come to the bottom of these things, as a Maurice, I think the Maurice mentioned about the race of the curator of the profession of curator, bring us to the beginning of the last century. Well, it starts probably with Duchamp and Circle. Um, yeah, it was quite new because before a curator come to the picture in the art world, it was uh, the responsibility shouldered before on the gallerist and the art dealer, and it was simple, like Van Gogh, the others was if I sell, you are good. If I not sell, just go home and do something else. It was quite simple before. And it's but with the rise of contemporary art and conceptual art, the new profession of the curator came to the frame. And what is this curator? Curator, it's because people even nowadays they kind of asking me what is this curator, because they confusing with the gallerist and with the in dealer. So people who is not in art, the artists usually they know what does it means. But I think the new profession, I would say the curator came from the, as I mentioned before, from the bureaucracy side, which is, I mean, on a good sense, for the bureaucracy side of the art scene. Uh, and it's also created tension between artist and a curator. When I think you're the lucky one if you met it's like at a marriage. If you met the right curator, you're the lucky one, and he can promote you in curatorial sense, in advisory sense, and also introduce you to the institution and work with you, and also to the gallerists, as it works now. But nowadays, with the rise of digital scenes and platform and direct-to-direct audience, uh, more artists, they kind of center on their own, and they became also kind of creators and administrator of themselves, which is kind of which is help to them create a public image and managing their works, and and kind of driven then to the whole to the circle of the audience. But on the other hand, I think the artists now sort of as I mentioned before, there is a tension, always the tension between a curator and an artist, and in this sense, I think maybe this kind of tension creates even a sort of positive way, so artists can always kind of gets benefits from it, and the dialogue between curator and artist can bring something new into the creators art. I came this my experience was that I think this is the first project, and I've been fascinated seeing the Maurice works, because he's really came from this digital era, and also being an artist and also curating works. So I think he's more experienced. And as Maurice, this is so funny because Maurice mentioned this is remember AI is a life, but I think remember AI is a tool. It's a still tool which on a curatorial level can really help to the artist if, for example, if we approach to the AI as a creative, something creative sort of instance. So why would we approach the AI as a curatorial? What I don't know how to say. Curatorial. I still think it's a tool, which like Photoshop helps us to, if you know how to write the prompts and how to communicate with AI, is give you the right answer and even pointing to you to the right direction. But to me, it is still a tool. So I would say, let's try to use AI, and artists, I think, should try to use AI with this sort of in a dialogue from the curatorial point of view, and develop kind of dialogue. That's what I think in this. Maybe it's a complicated, but I think that's what came to me from my observation.
That makes a lot of sense. And to be honest, I just wanted to ask another question, is that it is quite notable that a lot of art generated with AI can be, well, to put it not in a rude way, but like highly mediocre, really bad looking. And as a curator, I think you have an eye to depict good art from not that good art. In your experience, what is the way to use AI to create something unique or special or valuable, and how to avoid using AI creating mediocre art?
Well, it's very subjective what is mediocre, what is not. Well, but it's subjective based on objective. I think this came to the to the creator, to the intelligence, to the artist, to the creator itself. And as I said, to me, it's still a tool. In my experience, especially with this project, exactly that's what I said before. It depends on the creator, it depends on the artist who is dealing with AI, and it's still based on a prompt. How can you how it can be written in the prompts, and how to algorithm can translate it to himself and gives you and send you back sort of answer on the image. We've been trying to work with certain platforms and create with this project, with Hokusai's project, we're trying to create some works. And I don't know how many 200 works have been created from some of the platforms, exactly platform. and we just choose free because most of them were exactly as you said. Well, this is I try to avoid this mediocre, but I can say it wasn't undeveloped as we imagined it to be. Okay, so I was really disappointed because but few works was really okay, but I think this is was depends how artists were intelligent enough or creative enough to get something from this tool. Maybe if More is still with us, he can argue with me, but this is my I'm kind of old school.
Would be
Yeah,
amazing to add
that's
more
I think I've
stage. Yeah.
faithful your question. Yeah, but I'm my experience with digital art stopped on video art because I major in video art. Actually, I was doing a lot of installation and video installation, but kind of I stopped and went back to painting. I think that's kind of it gives me it's faithful my creativity process. But I give a chance to AI. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here curating this project. It's really interesting, and I see the artists how they work. It's really really fascinating. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you so much, Maurice.
yeah. Thank you.
I just decided to put you back on stage because I feel like both you and Evgeny has this amazing curatorial experience behind your backs, and I was thinking, in a way, do you agree with the statement that practice makes it perfect when it comes to AI and using AI in art?
Sorry, I'm not sure to understand the question.
Yeah,
You don't kind of practice. You
makes
say?
it perfect when it comes to AI. That the more you practice, the better you get in.
Ah, okay. Yeah. No, it's a language. We are learning. We are learning. We are babies. We are just discovering what may happen. We are defining the thing at the speed it moves. Uh, what is interesting is to see the role played by artists in defining what the future will be made of. And you see that through fictions, through science fiction, through what artists do in their project that try to anticipate what will come. So, in a way, we are helping technologies to evolve and the tools to evolve, and but at the same time, we are learning the effect. Like the painter learns exactly what will happen, just putting the brush on the canvas and getting some specific transparency effect or something like that. So yes, we learn more and more, but there are traps, and I didn't mention that. The 19th century, the 20th century has been defining why making objects and images were not enough. It was not, until the 19th century, the artist was producing images. And then, thanks to abstraction first, conceptual art, performance, and many other things, artists starting to get away from image or to consider image as part of the work, but this part not necessarily the completion of the work. And this is interesting to see because the tools we are using with AI can provide very pleasing content close to advertising, actually, close to book covers and magazine covers and fashion design and so on. Uh, it's a kind of regression, this case. And if we don't use this potential in order to do something different, like the painter of the 19th century didn't try to imitate photography. No, he did something else. He tried to make sense out of something else. And we are exactly in the same situation. We have to be careful and not to try just to be demonstrators. The artists could become people making demos about technologies. And as soon as you do that, this is why when you mentioned technology, I said I didn't talk about technology, because if we talk only about technology, we are making demos. It's a job, the vulgarization job. And I don't think the artists do their best doing that.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed your answer, and I will be just passing my word to Anna and Vladimir, who are here as well.
Hello, colleagues.
Hello. Maurice, Evgeny, Vladimir. Hello.
Another bureaucrat came in a good sense.
Yes, we are very happy to join this conversation, because now we are experiencing this absolutely challenging task to combine several technologies to curate exhibition that is not just simple exhibition. We are really creating world and including their art projects that are not simple art projects. Behind every project we have story. And yes, colleagues, Maurice, Evgeny, Vladimir, thank you very much for sharing your experience, because I think that future exhibitions of future that will combine real world with a new world of technologies, we need to have very high level of curatorial skills. We need to understand how to plan the space. We need to understand many technical issues and not lose emotional, energetic part that is so important. Vladimir.
Yeah, I agree, and I agree with Maris that very important difference now that we need more than all the past background information. So very important to save and show how you produce something, because without production process for AI art, it's sometimes nothing, because we can catch result only by randoms generative, but when you show how you create this kind of view, it's very important. So I think that very important part of real AI art is history of creation. And so I think it's a very important point for all artists who work with this, because they must keep all point of process. I think, and really when I show it looks like this. Every time you show how you made it. And so it's like a new experience for artists, but it's very close and simple with how to abstract paintings worked, because they have a lot of information about why they do these abstract paintings, what does it mean. And I think that now it's like a high level or about showing how you do it. So, and of course, we need very good understanding and have a big experience in visual art, because when you create some prompts, you must use very precise term and sometimes very good references. So I think that guys who don't know, for example, is art historian, they cannot do it because they don't know what really we can use. So shortly like this, and I have several slides, maybe.
Yes, I think we have some.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, super. Yeah, Vladimir, thank you very much. Absolutely. I'd like to share some interesting information, let's say. As far as we are not just simple art project, we are ArtTech Research project. We are doing a lot of research, obviously. And we were analyzing what AI tools are favorite for different artists from different generations, those who are brave enough to use them. So we did a list of most popular, and I want to share with you. And this list was done according on the base of the open call for form answers. So there we have more than 400 answers. And one of the questions there was, what are your favorite AI tools and for what you're using them? And it is very interesting because sometimes even those big tech companies who are producing these applications, platforms, and so on, sometimes they are not supposing that their instrument can be used in this method, in this way. So let me share some information with you. So here we have the winners. We have Adobe Firefly. So here we have the information from our artists that this tool is actively used also for photo cleanup, for obviously for AI-driven visuals, artistic experimentation, dynamic content generation. Okay, cool. Then we go to Blender for 3D modeling, character design, animation, integrating AI-driven shapes and textures. Then, of course, ChatGPT. I guess that not only artists but also curators using it because we need to work with big amounts of information and find information that we need to analyze, synthesize, and so on. Claude is used for brainstorming, coding, writing, refinement, proofreading, research, and strategizing artwork impact. And I hope that all the artists who are watching us now, they are like making notes to experiment with new AI tools that we are presenting here. Comfy UI, it is used for to generate art, immersive experiences, images, video creation, training models, multimedia, artworks, integration, and node configurations. Let's go to see what else. Okay, of course, DALL-E, imaginary visuals from text prompts, design, concept visualization, sure. We know that sometimes artists are applying for some grants, for some commissioned art objects, and we need to generate some visuals in order to attract curators and sponsors to support your art projects. So DALL-E is here for you. Deep Dream, serial visuals, images into art, generate textures, explore abstract and emotional concepts. Very good. The Forum, abstraction and surrealism, animations, moving visuals, WebXR installations, video projects. 11 Labs, video voiceovers, soundscapes, voice cloning for films, interactive art, and immersive experiences. There are not so many applications, AI in instruments that are working with sound, and I think that this information can be valuable. Gemini, concept generation, refinement, integrating AI-driven systems in creative process, providing professional descriptions, and organizing thoughts and ideas within artworks. And sometimes artists really need somebody to help them with working with texts and research. Let's go further. We have Google Colab, AI experiments, obviously, troubleshoot code, create detailed artwork layers, and experiment with Python, AI models, and a cloud-based environment. Kyber AI for convert still images to video. Crea was also mentioned by many artists for collaborative creative process, generating new forms, textures, ideas. Leonardo AI, also generating artistic images and references. Luma, AI-driven images, video generation, creating dynamic audiovisual experiences. Midjourney, yeah, one of the favorites for our artists working with different media in their past life, but now they're like studying how to use Midjourney the most efficient way. Then we have Pika for video generation and creating dynamic audiovisual experiences. PyTorch, that was new for me, for experimenting with 3D generative diffusion models. Runway ML, text prompts to visuals and animations and videos and interactive experiences. Of course, one of the favorites, Stable Diffusion, a wide range of images based on text descriptions. Yes, it is used by many artists that were applying to our project. Suno, to transform text prompts into musical inputs to unique audio compositions. So we have this list, and I want to ask our audience to also, if we forgot to mention something, okay, there are thousands of applications now and AI instruments, but if you think that we forgot something that is really efficient and user-friendly and provide you with amazing results, please share in comments. And here I want to pass the microphone to my colleague Vladimir, who is technical genius, and probably Vladimir will also add some valuable information to, on the technological part of the AI tools.
Thank you, Anna. Today, I think that we must speak some more about curation part, because I think that we must understand that really world change. We have today some kind of 6 different type of exhibition project. So traditional art exhibition, multimedia exhibition, of course, digital exhibition, which connected different reality, and hybrid project, which use all kind of media, and small part is digital exhibition, like online catalogs or some information, and full virtual exhibition. And I think that now full virtual exhibition don't have really strong curators. And we now in the research project how we can create like new professionals in this way, because we have a lot of project, but we see that it's not so much curators which understand how it's work. And so I think that we need special research, special education, and understand how it's because when we saw it more detailed diagram, we see that really all beginning from idea. But in when you work with virtual exhibition, you must understand all limits which now have every tools. And so because really I think it more hard than understand how work with hybrid or digital project, because nobody, we don't have some books about it, don't have enough articles and enough tutorials. And I think that one of the important part of our project is create some kind of tutorial how to work with different virtual tools to for showing art also. So I prepared some kind of checklist. What's the difference between team which work with different kind of exhibition, and you see that curator is very important every time at marketing also, but in all other way um, team change. And really team for virtual exhibition is really different between all other team. And so I think that it's very important experience for curators who start to work with this kind of team, because they usually don't have experience with, for example, VR development, VR modeling, VR special tools, and it is very difficult to understand difference between the different tools. So that's all what I want to say now, because it's like a point for research, and I think that our project help all guys who work in this area.
Thank you, Vladimir. And I want to comment to our audience that if you want to go deeper and to read all these beautiful details of these schemes, we are inviting you to go to our website, where we are posting after each webinar the main information, including these valuable images and schemes and timelines, and all that can be useful for artists and curators. So yeah, welcome to blog segment of our website, where you will find all the information. And now here in the studio, we have several artist residents from our project. We have Denise, we have Santiago. Hello, colleagues, very happy to see here. We have Julio, if he will be able to join us. Okay, now you are in this process of production, and how do you feel as an artist, this process of curation and process of integration of your artworks into virtual exhibition? That is very different, you will agree or not, I don't know, from the physical exhibition, when you just like, okay, you will have this wall, you will have this, I don't know, screen, what you need for sound, what you need for light, and so on. What is the difference? What do you think? Denise, start please.
Yeah, you mentioned the intriguing part that still triggers me, how to pick a space in a virtual place, because I was thinking that we have seen this beautiful virtual gallery, virtual museum. It has, there is an interesting idea of how it is layered into 3 levels, into different atmospheres. But I don't know how to pick the spot, because the place is virtual, and it's not, how to say, it's not segmented to different periods of time or type of art or something like that. So you just like trying to find a beloved place in the flat or something like that. How to pick a place in the place that is not existing, really. And I don't know. I really don't know how to do that. By the way, I like the presentation that was made by Maurice and Evgeny, and Maurice showed kind of brilliant projects, morphogenesis and dialogue. It would be interesting to dive a little bit deeper into that. And relating to curation process and creation process, Evgeny mentioned very interesting aspect that I was thinking about. He said that he was trying to dive into the digital path of creating art, and experimented with video art and different type of kind of digital tools. But he get back to the handmade process of oil painting, because for a bunch of reasons. One of the reasons is process of he's enjoying the process, and this is one of the questions. I shared my project lately, which was made in AI, and I received a lot of feedback, and there is a lot of negative feedback in terms of people who are afraid. They're not commenting my work, they are mostly commenting the usage of AI. And I kind of find 2 different type of people who are commenting. So one, they're standing against the usage of commercial AI tools, which they think that this kind of tools, they use in not a proper way other people's work? It's a good question, but I think it's more addressed to the tools and how they kind of land these questions effectively. But the question is good. But I want to reflect on other part. There's a lot of artists who give a positive feedback on my work, but they are still afraid. They're saying that the work is, how to say, they were looking at this video and this video was making them scary because they say uncanny valley, or it's kind of the feeling from the video is scary because it's artificial, it's synthetic, it's artificial, it's made by machine. And they're saying like, I'm afraid of losing the human creative part in it, because okay, the models will be updated and the video will be extremely realistic, and there will be no way to divide what was made by human and what was made by machine. And I was thinking why people are afraid of this, and I found exactly what Evgeny was speaking, because most of the artists who are standing against AI in some way, they're kind of thinking of their own handmade process and they're afraid of losing it. And I totally understand, because when you're kind of, if you enjoy the process of the creation with your hand, it's awesome and you don't need AI in this way. But most of this artists, they are thinking about something kind of simple. It's one canvas, one painting, or something like that. But if you think of a complex project, something, for example, like I don't know, if we go to something cinematic, there is a director. Usually people say that this is filmed by, I don't know, Tarantino, but of course it's a huge project which was made by a lot of people who contributed here. But for example, if you take Tarantino as an head of a creative group and replace all the people with AI, the process will be kind of the same, because there is an author who invents the idea, and then he needs, as a head of a creative group, to give some tasks to kind of people, but he can give these tasks to AI. And that's exactly how I feel myself while I'm working right now. Because, for example, I have an idea, I have different AI tools, and each AI tool I need to give a task, I need to evaluate the result, and kind of, well, I'm in some way, I regret my hand process, but I get the different result. So what I'm thinking, it's like, if you're making an illustration for the book, of course, it's cool when you're taking advantage of what you're doing by hand, but you won't be doing 100 illustrations exactly the same. You will use the printing, the publishing services, right? And you won't be regretting that you didn't do each one of them by your hand. So kind of what's the difference here? It's absolutely the same. Of course, you cannot multiple yourself and create 1 million of illustrations absolutely the same for the same books. And here, I think people mostly, why they're against, because they're thinking about some simple tasks and they are afraid of losing it. So for example, like, I don't know, the same with the photography. Photographer says that I don't like AI because it's synthetic, but it's scintigraphy. So you need to give a task to a camera and take the result. You're not exactly the hand author. And this is the, how to say, this is this makes you come from an artist to kind of like a mentor or curator of an artistic group. So when you're working with AI, you are not exactly the artist, you're head of the artistic group, and it's in some way it's co-creation with an AI. Even if you take the AI model and train it on your style, your personal unique style, anyway, you're ahead of the creation group. And I think this is the big difference, and that's why we're kind of arguing between each other, because we don't understand what exactly we're speaking about.
Thank you, Denise. Very interesting point about artist as a curator of his own
work,
creative
yes.
group. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Now we have this like kind of double curation, and that is very interesting phenomena. Santiago, what do you think when you're working with all these beautiful schemes that sometimes you are sharing generously with us? How do you feel yourself? Do you feel yourself also as a curator of this group that is working for you, like different AI tools? How do you feel?
In my case, I think I don't like to separate the human factor from the machine. Like I think there is a kind of symbiosis during the project with the machine, where both became one. So you are curating the outputs, but you are creating them also. Because let me add something here that a lot of people, and I agree with Dennis, we're talking about what happened to him. I agree with him. People are really afraid of machines in general, of technology. But the afraid, in my opinion, came from the idea from lose their jobs or the ability to make a craft or to craft something. And here is where I was seeing a short documentary from MoMA yesterday, where there were an artist talking about AI, but about what's behind AI. And what's behind the AI are humans' moment, humans' vision, humans' definitions. So I think there we should lost the separation between I'm a human, I'm an artist, there's the machine works with me, or I send the task to the machine and the machine gives me an output. It's like you are being one with the machine from the back, from the initial state of the idea. Like how many people knows what's behind a model? Not a lot. And there's the human factor inside the machine. So in my opinion, it's like we are becoming our own curators inside our process. Like for example, I was yesterday making the final exports for one of the projects for the residency, and I started with a kind of maybe I don't know 2 minutes video of images, just images, and I need to select only 10. So if I separate my mind from the machine, I would like to pick all of them. Like I really like them because I train the model and that stuff. So I love them. But I need to be one with the machine to understand where's the mistake, what's the mistake. Because sometimes the mistakes are the really like beautiful part, in my opinion, from the AI. Like reality is awesome, but what separates the machine reality from the human reality is the mistake. Like for example, if Dennis put a prompt inside, I don't know, maybe a wrong way, for example, like, and the output is like distorting everything. It's real. Yes, it's the reality of the machine. So we need to start, I think, learn. I don't know if we need to learn. I think we need to unlearn what technology is, because we are always putting no, that's not human, that's not human, that's not human. Yes, it's human because a human made it. So maybe it's there where we should start changing the point of view from the machine, also for curation, in my opinion, because I was talking a lot with some curators, like not too many people loves the reality inside AI, and don't know why, because it's not wrong, it's what the artist wants. So I think we start considering or learning what's behind the artist and what's behind the idea of the artist to make an opinion about it. Because if we don't know the back or the concept of the idea, we are just making an opinion of an output, only one output of, I don't know, maybe 1,000. So that's my opinion about it.
Thank you, Santiago. It is very interesting.
So we're like becoming a Hue machine. It was created by Hue machine.
Yeah, absolutely. It is part of our life, and yes, yes. I want to listen to Julio. He's working with sound, with soundscapes, and we live in the world of sounds. They can be real sounds, technological sounds, sounds created with AI tools. For you, do you see difference in I don't know, maybe some energy related to sounds produced by real world and sounds produced and created by technologies? What is your feeling?
Oh, sorry. Well, I will. I haven't get too deep into comparison with um, uh, my creations and what I can what can be prompt made music at the moment. But I'm interested in talk about this frame of the curation, because the sound is being is a really interesting sound as a sound art, as a sonic art, is being always in this place of that of the format. The audio format is a really complicated still one to include into exhibition space. And I since I started with this project, I feel like this is kind of translate as well into the digital world, or into the virtual world. That there is still not so much develop this idea of how to listen. We don't have it in the real world, but we don't have it also, in the exhibition space, in the tangible world, and we don't have it also in the virtual. For example, we were talking about for exhibitions, or for virtual exhibition, we don't have multi-channel ways of listening to sound, which is really interesting. And when we talk about curators, when we have a commission on some sound piece, they always ask us about if we would like to have a speakers, or we would like to have headphones. And I think this is what it can be represented as a virtual speaker, or headphone in an exhibition space. And I don't know if that's kind of enough. I don't know if you know what I mean. It's like we are replicating our problems of let's say, of format in a new format, in a new way. And that's really, for me, is fascinating. This multi-layer way of seeing the world through AI, and through, it's not happening at the same speed with sound. And well, sound also being one of the most let's say, they always say democratic way of creating art, because it's something that you can carry in your pocket, in your car, and it's not being like a. And but still, I think the developments on apps, or software of for artificial intelligence, I still haven't found I don't know, different advances that what we can create in the real world, for saying it in somehow. Yeah. Am I lose you guys, or?
I've got a question
Mm.
for Julio.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Go
because
ahead.
it really intrigues me, like what the potential of AI with sound. Because in my opinion, I think there are a few tools that work with and generate sound, but they try to replicate reality again. And I think, what's your advice for an artist who doesn't know nothing about sound, and to start working with with them, because sometimes the output feels really plastic, like startup video music, and I don't know how we can push, or how we can make the output better, if it's just with prompt or with the adding a technical part in the prompt.
Interesting. I think, yeah, I think that there is something that I've seen, for example, in apps like Suno, that is based on, let's say we can base the sound on music, which is the most easy to access right now in AI, because there is so many music genre. So it's like when you are doing the machine learning, when you are doing the feeding the machine with images, that's what you can do with songs. Let's say songs which have different genre. So you can put from doom metal to reggaeton to salsa, whatever. So I think in this moment it's really quick and really easy to for a software on AI to recognize this and to create something with this. I saw Dennis. I don't know if it was in our internal chat of our project that they were putting some. You can create some Sibelius. No, no, it's not Sibelius. It's uh, Claire Debussy style of music, because that's kind of there's a big data ban on that. But right now in Sonic Arts we are passing from music, then through sound, and now to listening. And then the listening will be another experience that the machine can have to create abstractions, because what I'm facing right now is that I want to create the sound of an imaginary animal, of an imaginary creature, I wanted to find the, or a street that is sound in an imagination that is not replicating a car passing, a horn sounding, or some people, but the machine still is not reaching this kind of abstraction, and the abstraction is so important. That's what we are talking about, replicating and replicating probably in a low quality compared with because it's a compressed audio file of that has a soundscape. So I think that the interesting is that at least in the sound art, we are going right now to the possibility of thinking, of imagining different sounds, different futures, and different abstract way of listening. And yeah, right now I feel that there is not this. The machine still has not gone this way. It's still more like a with this kind of like a way of feeding the machine of data. The data is always classified as Latino, Chinese style gong songs, so he can create something in this regard, but he cannot, in a bit like break it, as art has been evolving, breaking something that we have done to get into a new thing. He's just like a pastiche sometimes in a way of different things. Well, that's what we have right now, or that's at least where I have reached. I don't know if you guys have another experience.
No, it happens like the same with me. I used Suno in two of my projects, but it's really hard to get like a void sound, an empty space sound. When you try to push the creativity of the model, like the output, uh, a lot of the outputs are just music, and beautiful music. If we try to like normal music, it's okay. But when you try to push that the creativity inside the model, you need, in my opinion, right now, what I'm doing, it's like just to embrace the mistakes. Like it happened maybe 2 weeks ago with a piece where I was just writing a reflection, trying to make a voice read a reflection of mine, and which I used, at least the final output I select was a mistake, an entire mistake, like a voice saying I don't know what, but that I really fell in love with that, because the and I used like the old models, the V2 models, because the new one are really good, but are too real, and sometimes I think it kills, or yeah, it sometimes kills the concept, because reality, it's more like real for the spectator than the concept. So I don't know.
Interesting that you mentioned Anna. You're muted, I think.
Yeah. Interesting point, Santiago. And I think that, you know, we as a team of AI Hokusai project, we communicate a lot with different journalists, freelancers writing for different news platforms and so on. And sometimes, from time to time, we are getting this message that AI is plagiarism. It is absolutely synthetic. It is nothing creative behind it. Yeah, we get this news like maybe a lot of times, but and we are always in our webinars, we are coming back to the like trying to prove that it is creativity. It is very complicated creative process. And I think that when we will have this situation in 10 years, nobody will ask this question again. Nobody will, I hope nobody will question the creativity side of using different instruments. I hope so. And thank you so much, Julio, Santiago, Denise, Evgeny, Maurice, amazing presentation. Vladimir, today we touched different aspects of creation and curation. And we will continue to explore this magnificent new world. And next week we will have webinar that will summarize all the webinars of this season, and we will give our ideas about what will be with AI in arts in next year. So I invite all the audience and all our residents and all our experts, mentors, and partners to join this webinar. It will be very interesting. And for our international audience, it will be very useful to be there to listen to this. For staying with us today, and see you next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you all.
Today, but I was inviting everybody to join our next webinar when we will resume and summarize all the technical innovations of this year and to look to the next year. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, audience. See you next week.